It can be very confusing at times. Studying silver and gold, right? Like you get this feeling like there's so much information out there. But when the smartest minds in the room publish a 5-6 page article that sums up the strong thesis why we love silver, why we love gold, and they talk about gold having a zero added to the end of the price. So if you figure $1,800 gold, that would make $18,000 gold. And if you use a 30-to-1 silver to gold ratio, well, I think that puts the price of silver at $600. Guys, I found what I think is just an absolute gold nugget, a gold mine packed with nuggets of information about the sector, silver and gold, that you and I love. I'm going to put a link to it. It's an article in the description below. I'm not sponsored by this company. I'm not getting any benefit directly or indirectly by recommending you read this. I don't tell you to do things, but I will tell you, you will benefit and likely really enjoy if you read the article. It's by Egon von Gars. He's the guy from Gold, Switzerland. He's in his 70s, maybe he's 80, but he is really, really an awesome on top of things guy when it comes to gold and silver. And I just want to read you a few of what I think are the highlights from this article. And again, I'd really recommend you check that out yourself. First, mining gold, Blaine asked about. Is there something going on with First Mining? I don't know. I've been swamped this morning. I've not been able to look at the markets. Let's talk about this article. And somebody tell me in the chat, how are gold and silver doing this morning? Last I looked, gold was down and silver was down just a little bit. Let's see if we can get the price of gold and silver up during this live stream. And of course, when we get to 100 thumbs up, please give this video a thumbs up. Please like it. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel and it helps us spread the word about silver and gold. All right, guys. Interesting. Let me read this. Egon says, tectonic shifts lie ahead. These will involve a U.S. and European debt crisis ending in a debt collapse, a precipitous fall of the dollar and the euro, with gold, and we know silver as well, emerging as a reserve asset, but at multiples, let me repeat that, multiples of the current price. How do you feel about gold at multiples of the current price? Do you think, in the comments, say yes, if you think we could see gold at multiples of the current price in the coming 5 years? That's like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 gold. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. The next phase of the fall of the West is here, and it soon will accelerate. They talk about what's going on, and this is where there's two really fascinating things later in this article. You got to read this. It's accelerating, and a lot of that has to do with geopolitical issues going on. And the U.S. has shot themselves in the foot. Okay, so a debt collapse is not just a looming disaster, but a bomb hurling towards the U.S. economy at supersonic speed. With the imminent death of the petrodollar and explosion of U.S. debt, there's only one solution for funding the requirements of the U.S. government. The Fed will stand as the sole buyer of U.S. treasuries. That means the Fed's going to print money, unicorn fart dust money, right? Electronic dollars, and buy their own debt. That doesn't make sense. That's not healthy. That's not good. And that's what is going on right now. He goes on to say a catastrophic death spiral. So the debt spiral of higher debt, higher deficits, more treasuries, higher rates, and falling bond prices will soon turn into a death spiral with a collapsing dollar, high inflation, and most probably hyperinflation. Sounds like a default to me. We have charts. Yes, the U.S. will probably try to fix the situation. How do you think they're going to fix it, guys? How do you think they're going to fix it? They're going to try to fix it with CBDCs. CBDCs, that's right. But since this is just another form of fiat money, it will at best just buy a little time. Do you think the CBDCs will buy a little time for the government to keep the mirage alive? Let me know in the comments, right? Talk with each other. You guys, right? Talk. We can learn from each other. And by the way, I appreciate you being here, all of you. We're all over the world. We have a passion for this. You're in the club. Welcome to the club. This is Ron's Basement. It's like the Mr. Rogers neighborhood for gold and silver enthusiasts, and you are welcome here. For CoinShop Chris, our great friend and big supporter of the channel, I'm going to remind you that gold and silver are the only real money and everything else is just unicorn fart dust. And if they don't like that, you can feed them beans. The U.S. debt ceiling farce, okay, that's the thing, belongs on Broadway rather than Wall Street. That's the big news now, right? The debt ceiling going on. It was created in 1917. It's been going on for 106 years. It's been raised a number of times. This is where it gets interesting. But it gets even more interesting. The annualized cost of financing the debt, right? The U.S. owes $32 trillion, is already $1.1 trillion right now. That's just to pay the interest on the national debt, $1.1 trillion. If we assume, conservatively, that the debt grows to $40 trillion in 2 years, interest cost at 5% would be $2 trillion. That would be almost 43% of current tax revenue. But if the economy deteriorates, interest costs will easily exceed 50% of the tax revenue. Thus, a very dire scenario lies ahead, and that is certainly not even the worst case scenario. So the Fed's between a rock and a hard place. That's what this Yvonne gun. And thank you all who are joining right now. I'm reviewing an awesome article. There's a link to it in the description of this video. I want you to stick with me and hear this out. But then later today, do yourself a huge favor and read this article from Gold Switzerland. It is the bomb. It is like the manifesto for gold and silver. The Fed is between a rock and a hard place. Well, you know, the Treasury Department's between a rock and a hard place, too. And I got a little surprise for you guys, right? You all know about this guy. Hey, guys, it's Jerome. I'm between a rock and a hard place. I'm between inflation and recession. I'm painted in a corner, or you could say I'm in a box. I got a little surprise for you later on. The Fed and the U.S. government are now between a rock and a hard place. As it looks today, the U.S. will bounce between a rock and a hard place for years to come, but eventually it's going to all come crashing down, okay? The commodity-rich nations are the ones that will come out ahead in the future. South America, the Middle East, Russia, Asia, we know the BRICS. Are you guys familiar with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? That's another organization kind of similar to the BRICS, with the Eastern countries all cooperating with one another. Barring major political and geopolitical upheavals, China will be the dominant nation in the future, in the main factory of the world. Russia will likely also be a major economic power with 85 trillion of natural resources. The potential is clearly there for this to happen, but first, the political system of Russia needs to be modernized. The monetary system always ends in a debt explosion. Okay? It goes through, here's a chart of U.S. debt, right, since 1913. Can you guys see that? It's insane. When Nixon closed the gold window, the U.S. debt was $1.7 trillion. It's now over, what, 31, 32 trillion? Thereafter, the curve has become ever more steeper. It's happening faster. There's something crazy interesting that directly applies to this we're going to get to here soon. From September of 2019, when the U.S. banking system started to crack, we had the repo crisis. Then we had the health crisis that occurred in 2020. Thus, just in 1 century, total U.S. debt has grown. Wow, our total debt has grown from 27 trillion to 94 trillion. This is the interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this analogy about the stadium, a giant stadium. You can come back and watch this replay. A giant stadium that gets filled with water. This will blow your mind because it's the same thing that's happening right now with the debt in the United States and the Western countries. It's crazy. How long will it take to fill this giant football stadium with water? 1 drop per minute, okay? 1 drop of water per minute. But the number of drops doubles every minute. So 1 drop per minute, but the number of drops doubles every minute. Will it take 1 day, 1 month, or 1 year to fill that stadium? It only takes 50 minutes, okay? And after 45 minutes, it's 90% full. And in the final 5 minutes, right? The final 5 minutes. I'm sorry. How full after 45 minutes? I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Bear with me. Okay. 1 drop of water into this giant stadium. I murdered that one. And this is debt. The water is the debt. 1 drop of water every minute. The number of drops double every minute. Okay. How long does it take to fill the stadium? So you start with 1 drop. A minute later, you do 2 drops. A minute later, you do 4 drops. A minute later, you do 8 drops. Does it take a day, a month, or a year? It only takes 50 minutes. But this is where it's interesting. After 45 minutes, it's only 7% full. Okay, so in the last 5 minutes, it goes from being 7% full all the way to 100% full. That is go look at the article, read it yourself, or replay this. That is what's going on right now with all the debt in the world, right? It kind of builds up, and we know it's crazy, but then the last little part, the last 5 minutes, and I think Hemingway said it, how did you go broke? Slowly, but then very quickly. We've got bank failures. The Hoover Institute report calculates that there's 2,300 U.S. banks that currently have assets worth less than their liabilities. 2,300. The market value of their loan portfolios are $2 trillion lower than the book value. But the banks are fine. Just ask Joe. Just don't go to the bank, everybody, and ask for your money. They're fine until everybody wants their money, right? Right. Here's a chart that shows losses on the bank's balance sheets, but they don't recognize most of those losses. That big part down there, right? That's the last couple years. They don't recognize those losses. Property, same thing. Big problem for the banks. Commercial property, possibly even residential real estate. Now, here's the other super interesting part of this article. Okay? All the debt in the world, all the global debt, all the liabilities, right? If we add unfunded liabilities and the total outstanding derivatives to the global debt, we arrive at around 3 quadrillion. What the heck's a quadrillion? Is that 1,000 trillion? Probably. 3 quadrillion. Okay? This chart, kind of like Exter's pyramid, right? I'm going to hold that up for you to look at, guys. Shows all the 3 quadrillion, derivatives, unfunded liabilities, global debt is all supported by 2 trillion, right, of central bank gold holdings. So look at that chart again. All of that, right, is supported by that little bit down there, right there. That's what supports all of that crazy debt. Here's the fun part. Gold to be substantially revalued in the disorderly reset. Just over a century after the creation of the Fed and the beginning of the debt ceiling, the mighty dollar, how much do you think the mighty dollar's lost since the creation of the Fed? If you said 99%, you are correct. And measured against the only money which has survived in history, gold, the dollar's also lost 99%. It goes on to talk about how gold has held its value, right? We know that. Silver, too, for the millennium. Then he talks about Luke Groman, who points out the fact that for the gold to be able to legitimately back the money that's out there in the system, you got to add a zero to the back of the price of gold. Guys, these are... In order for gold to function as a reserve asset, it will need to be revalued with a zero at the end and a bigger figure at the beginning, Luke says. The whole idea would be that gold will become a neutral reserve asset which floats in all currencies. I've been making this argument for days now, right? It dawned on me. I had an epiphany. Do you know what an epiphany is? Have you ever had an epiphany? Let me know in the comments, but I had an epiphany. A couple epiphanies in the last week. Epiphany number one was we never went off the gold standard. Yeah, they want to say Nixon took us off the gold standard. I think no. Never has the world ever really been off the gold standard. Maybe strayed away, right, from the anchor, right? Here's a great analogy. The gold standard is the solid anchor, right, from the big ship, and it's secure on the ocean floor, right? And what they did was, the boat was secure, it was fine. What they did in 1971 was they started letting out the rope. They want to say, oh, we threw the rope overboard. We don't need the anchor anymore. But they can't really do that. The rope is permanently attached to the boat, like it or not. So the boat's been drifting, right? The boat's been drifting, but all the while, gold and silver, the anchor, had been there. And when the storm gets too big and the boat really gets pushed out, the anchor's going to catch again, and that's just what we're getting ready to see right now. You guys gave me 100 thumbs up. I bet CoinShop Chris encouraged you. I appreciate that. I'm going to now ring this bell 100 times, but each ring counts as 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and just for you, 100. All right, guys, let's go through some comments. I appreciate you guys all being here. Okay. Hello, Buddy Rumble. Good to see you, Buddy Rumble, the Louisiana Gold Guru. Everybody, please say hello to CoinShop Chris and Buddy Rumble. They're good friends and contributors to Ron's Basement. I can't do this alone. I can't do it without you. I tried to get them to change the name of YouTube to RonTube, but they wouldn't do it. It's about you, YouTube, and we are in this little community. Like I said, I hope this doesn't offend you, but I'd look at us as like the Mr. Rogers neighborhood for gold and silver investors. Hey, Brian, that's a great comment. Since I rang the bell once and I counted 10, he called that ringflation. Great. Very good one. Good to see you, Buddy. Buddy and I just wrapped up. We have a new video coming out here in the next couple days. Hello, Jim Tillapow. Hello, CoinShop Chris. Hello, Mary. Wow, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, man. Your support, our community is awesome. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood for gold and silver investors. The other epiphany that I had was it dawned on me how crazy it is that you can convert. When Buddy and I were talking earlier, I think he used the word transfer, however you want to say it. We don't use the word buy silver and gold, right? We are converting worthless paper into silver and gold. That you can actually do that. That you can take paper. I mean, if somebody arrived from another planet, right, an alien, and you said, you have a choice. You can either you can either have paper or you can have this real metal that's scarce. There's only so much of it around. Which one do you think will hold more value? It's a no-brainer. But for a lot of us, including myself, we've been programmed, right? We've been programmed to be to assign actual value to paper. I mean, come on, man, right? Come on, crazy. Coin Shop Chris says silver and gold are money. Everything else you think is money is nothing but unicorn fart dust. Did I show you? Oh, I didn't show you. I have a new box, guys. Who can guess who's in this box? Who can guess who's in this box? Come on, show me some guesses. I'm going to show you in 1 second. Do you want a hint? Yes, slowly at first, then suddenly. Thank you, Jay. That's exactly what that stadium filling with water analogy or debt, right? As it builds and builds and builds and does turn into a spiral, that's exactly what it is demonstrating. Auto insurance. Yeah. I mean, for the basement mobile. Wow, you guys are awesome. Remember, any questions? This is your chance. Jerome. Nope, Jerome's no Minnie Mouse. Yes. Oh, man, Annie Oakley, I think you're... No, American 180, you got it. Come on, man. All right, here. Look, I'm going to show you guys because she is also in a box, but I gave her a fancy box. Hi, everybody. It's Janet. And you know what I found in the box this morning? I couldn't believe this. Look, can you guys see what's in there? Look at that. Look what's in that box. I'm going to have to get some bug spray because she's attracting roaches. I thought that was funny. You know what else is interesting is that the Jerome box fits right inside the Yellen box. I mean, she used to work at the Fed, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah. And for some reason, I think Janet likes when Jerome's in her box. Okay. Let's get to some questions. Klaus Schwab, Ron Johnson, is that his silver Ferrari? Putin. Now, I don't have Putin in a box. I'm not going to mess with Putin. It's a water bug. Yeah, a giant roach. I woke up this morning, was inside the box. That box is, what's it called? My wife is, Susie is much classier than me. Lily Pulitzer. And she said, I want that box back. I said, no, you're not going to want it back when you see what Janet does to it. It's Janet's box. Now, you know, I'm not going to comment on that. This is a PG-rated show, Ron's Basement. Come on, guys. All right, let's have some fun. Today's Wednesday, where will the gold price be on Friday? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear from you. Yes, no WhatsApp. I will not WhatsApp you ever. Thank you, CoinShop Chris. Where will 1995 on Friday? Silver and gold equals money, metals. Back to 25 for silver. We like that. 2,260. Chris, that was a very specific answer. 1990, 1,800, 1,500 euros. I can't do that conversion, but 60,000 euros. 1,500. Oh my gosh. Absolutely crazy. Well, I guess they're still working on the debt ceiling, trying to get that resolved, right? You know, it's I don't know how you feel. It's totally frustrating that this BS is even going on. It's frustrating that we're even in this situation. I don't want to say is it bad to say that I was hopeful? I almost kind of, I mean, there's a little part of me, a little devil. I don't know if, are you like that? Do you have a little devil? I have a little devil in me. And the little devil says, I hope they don't work it out. And I hope it creates chaos because that will force them to deal with the fact that we're spending so much more money than we're bringing in. Am I the only one who thinks that way? I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll get it worked out. I think it'll all, there'll be, some last minute fix, whatever the case may be. But it's undeniable, the can kicking. It's like that stadium example from the article. And man, please, guys, read the art. For those who've joined me late, there's an article I've linked in the description that I think is one of the best that I've read in forever about the thesis behind why you and me, why we hold buy, can you believe I said buy? Why we convert our paper money into physical metal. It is absolutely, in my opinion, one of the most comprehensive, one of the best articles, period. So please check it out. Ron, they'll work out a deal and we'll be grateful to pay more taxes for it. Let's read through some of your funny comments. Come on, guys, give me some comments. Bill Gates invented microbrews. I need a new joke. The only joke I've got, and this is Gary, who I work with, the only joke I have right now is, what do you call a potato who can't make his mind up? He's oh my God. Somebody finish that for me. Somebody knows. What do you call a potato who can't make his mind up? A hesitator. That's the answer. Unicorn fart dust is very expensive. What's the advice if you have $32,000 in debt and $87,000 in balance? Yellen requested me to ask you. Yeah. That's an interesting scenario. I mean, it's untenable, the situation that we're in here in the United States. And we were talking this morning, Buddy and I, about the last time the U.S. was in this type of situation was the 1930s. And what they do in the 1930s? They confiscated gold. I think things are different this time. I think there's some different scenarios, but we can't rule out anything as we move into the coming months, quarters, and years. All right, guys, thank you for being here. Okay, you all are awesome. I've got the best viewers. I'm going to see you on the next live stream. Until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, CoinShop Chris. All right, I appreciate you and all the work you put in moderating. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here right now. This has been awesome. We are an elite little crowd of people that buy gold and silver. I'm going to keep talking until I get more and more viewers on here. We are not the herd. We are the ones who are willing to venture a little bit away from the herd. We are not doom and gloom. We are realists. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you next time.